You may not know about Montana. You always hear about the movie A River Runs Through It, which is about fly fishing in Montana. It was mostly filmed in Missoula, Montana, home of the Little Blackfoot River. Now, what you may not know is that Montana is also home to the shortest river in the world. The Roe River is located right in Great Falls, Montana, and runs a distance of 200 feet to empty into the Missouri River. For the first portion of our meeting, we'll have prepared speeches. This is where our Toastmasters have been given a project and they prepare a speech to bring back to the meeting on Monday. And our first speaker today is our president, Harlon Pickett. Harlon's speech is called Insurance Broker, the vision of future of the business and path to realize that vision. Harlon Pickett.
If I can, I'm just going to insert the word of the day is incognito. The meaning, of course, is to assume a false identity.
Okay, great. And just to get the timer to know, my speech is a 5 to 7 minute speech. This is a level 5 speech. All right, thank y'all so much for being here this evening. There's been a lot of changes over the years that I have been in the insurance industry. I began this journey back in 2007, and we have seen dramatic changes, not just in health insurance, but also in life insurance and across really all the different facets of insurance. If you look at what the age that a whole life policy paid out back in, let's just say 2010, at 100 years old, even if you were still alive, you received your money. The reason for that is that's the way policies were designed. A whole life policy, they decided that your whole life was up once you hit 100 years. That is now 120. That was changed because of the number of policies being paid out while people are living. It certainly cannot be considered a whole life policy if it pays out while you're still alive. So that change had to be made. I don't have to really get deep into letting you know how health insurance has changed. We hear that every single day. We hear also about other facets of health insurance that are changing as far as your rates and also the coverages that are out there. Obviously, the COVID epidemic has had major impacts in this. But let me tell you something you didn't know about that, and that is really the cost of healthcare has gone down. Why? Because less people are going to the doctor. In fact, I received a notice today from Blue Cross Blue Shield that anyone that's on the Blue Cross Blue Shield HMO individual plan will be getting a refund by September 30th because Blue Cross Blue Shield did not pay out enough in benefits this year in equal to what the payments were for premiums. Very interesting. I tell you all this little background because it is a very changing landscape in insurance. I am going to expand my business as an insurance broker by bringing on an employee. This is going to happen very soon. This is my vision, is bringing this person on. That will happen by the end of September. This employee is also my spouse. It will be a transition from her workplace into working with me on a full-time basis gradually over the next 2 to 3 months. It's something that we've been talking about for years, and our vision is to grow this to where we have more than just the two of us working in this. It will, by bringing her over, it will allow me to get even more in depth with clients and different situations, and also allow me to expand into working with businesses. One of the things that I really want to do, and my vision just propels me this direction, is to really help businesses understand the way insurance works and what's happening behind the scenes. Right now, so much of that is incognito. They have no idea what is really happening and where those costs are going, what the true costs to them are. So many of these employers are spending money that they should not be spending to help they believe, their employees. Instead, in many cases, they're costing both their employees and themselves funds that they should not have to spend. My vision is to take my business to a point where I am the go-to for anyone in the San Antonio area and eventually the Texas area and really the nation to understand how these plans work and also how they can save the money and truly provide a better benefits package to their employees. I have already expanded into 12 additional states, and I am working with a local marketing company to start helping me really get the word out. Let people know who I am, what my vision is, and what I really bring to the table to help them understand the landscape out there and how they can truly get the most bang for their buck. It's really a very interesting concept to sit there and listen to people tell you what they want. Everyone really wants the same thing, right? They want the highest level of benefit for the absolute lowest cost. Wouldn't that be awesome if we could all find that plan? By the way, if you do find that, please send it my way so that I can, start offering that plan too. It is very interesting when you start talking to people and they really get down to what is important to them. 9 out of 10 of them really are just more about what the cost is. That really makes you start thinking about, okay, if it's really about cost, then are you really that concerned with what you're getting? They really are, but it's really about cost. And that is unfortunate that they believe that they cannot get both things because they have been trained that way. I have mentioned before that the American public has been really put into their head that you cannot get health care without having health insurance. And that is unfortunate. And it's unfortunate because that is simply not the case. You can certainly get excellent health care without having health insurance, but knowing how to get that is the real challenge. My vision for my company is to get us to that point where when people have questions about these things, they know where to turn. They know it comes right to mind. This is the person. These are the people I need to have on my side to make sure that I get the absolute best care and coverage for my family. My vision is simple. I want to be known as someone that helps folks. My goal, my vision is every single day that when we wake up, when we go to work, we are going to make people just have the self-confidence and the self-awareness and the joy that they are covered properly and that their state of mind is one of not concern, but of really knowing that the best they can possibly have is within their grasp. I appreciate everyone being here tonight. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Harlon. Our next speaker is Tammy Perez, who is doing her speech on managing a successful project. This is in the innovative planning pathway, level 4, her first speech. It is a 2 to 3 minute speech to create a team of 3 or 4 people and choose a project. I give you Tammy Perez.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Show of hands, how many of you have managed a project? Okay, a lot of you, almost everybody. So I'll be preaching to the choir tonight. I want to talk a little bit about the plan that I have put together for a project that I'm going to carry out this fall and into the spring. So today I'm going to talk about the plan. I'll come back in about 5 months and update you on how my plan went. First of all, with coordinating an event, I want to say that it has been probably one of the most intimidating things for me. Coordinating a project is exactly the same. What I am intimidated about really is because I feel like I need to know everything. I need to be the person in the room that's the subject matter expert. I need to be doing all the work. Once I came around to the belief and the understanding that that is not the case, that coordination does not mean doing it all, it became so much easier. There are about 6 things that I want to talk to you about. And the first is forming your team. Because you don't have to be the most important person in the room, you don't have to be the most knowledgeable person in the room, you want to put together a team of people who are, frankly, smarter than you. They need to know more than you do about the project that you're putting on. They need to know how it's going to impact the stakeholders, and they need to know all of the pitfalls and the concerns so that the plan can be created in a way that actually will be a benefit to the people who are going to be impacted by it. So the first thing is your team. The second is to define really well your scope. You want to laser focus in on what you're going to do, and you want to make sure you continue down that path to the end, and you want to avoid scope creep, which is where you're bringing in things that really aren't part of your original scope. Talking about stakeholders, communication is key. You want to develop a way to loop back to the team any feedback and input from those folks who are going to be impacted by the project. So communication, very important. Organization is also key. You want to have timelines, you want to have deadlines, you want to make sure you're giving progress updates and reporting back out again. One of the most important things for carrying out a team project is your messaging. How many of you walked into a team meeting where somebody says, well, we got to do this because so-and-so said we have to do this? That sets you up for frustration. It sets you up for not really thinking that your work is going to impact anyone. It's the messaging of, I am so excited about this project. It is so important, and we have needed this for a very long time. This is how it's going to impact people positively. If you can walk into a room with messaging like that, it makes a world of difference. The last thing I want to talk about is gratitude. You want to show people who've done the hard work that you're grateful for the work that they've done. So in 6 months or 5 months, when I come back, I'm going to report back out to you on how all of this went and if I was able to carry out this plan with my team.
Thank you, Tammy.